So welcome to Food Diary Friday, guys. With this nice weather, I couldn't resist doing it outside. So what today's Food Diary Friday is all about is dietary fats, okay? So it's sort of the role of fat in our body and why it's important to make sure that we consume it, okay? And I wanted to debug a few myths about fat making you fat and things like that, okay? So first off, what is dietary fat and what is the role? So it's just a balance of macros. So like all other macros, like carbs and protein, fat doesn't play an important role in our metabolic rate. So basically how we turn over calories, how we store calories, how we use them as energy, etc. So fats generally play a bigger part in all our hormones. And I think that's so it's really key to not go on a low-fat diet as such. Not necessarily a high-fat diet, but you should be having a good amount of fats within your diet, which I'll touch on again in a minute. Fats are 9 calories per gram, so compared to protein and carbs, they're higher in calories. So protein and carbs are only 4 calories per gram. So when you are consuming more fats, you do need to be careful because they're generally a lot higher in calories. And what I'm going to get to soon is the more calorie condensed. So it generally tends to be smaller size meals, less volume. It's not going to fill you up as much, although higher fat intake does fill you up, but generally a lot lower volumes of food. So things like cheese, they can be found, red meats like steak, avocado and fatty fish, okay, oily fish really. They're just a few sources that we'll find majority of our fats from. So I'll repeat that: red meats, cheese, avocado, fatty fish is generally where I think we should be getting the majority of our fat intake from as well. Definitely more fat intake from the meats that we have. That would be my suggestion. Now the practical points, what I always want to finish on is fat does not make you fat. Again, it's the calories that we consume over the whole week that is going to make you fat if you're going to eat too many of them. However, including fat into our diet, you do have to have a lot more self-control. So like more so than any other macronutrient, generally, because say like a handful of nuts, most people think they have a handful of nuts, when in actual fact you should for a decent serving, and maybe not too more, count out about 20 nuts. Now if you ever count out 20 almonds and put them in the middle of your hand, it's probably something you've never actually done before, and you've probably had a lot more than what you thought in previous, okay? So you do have to be careful with that. Now I want to talk a little bit about cholesterol. I don't want to talk too much on it. Now I've got a lot of knowledge on cholesterol because I have got very sensitive cholesterol levels due to family genetics. So if I generally had a normal diet full of high amounts of cheese, full fat milk, regular red meats, and I generally just consumed a lot of dietary fat, now my cholesterol will go up. I am very, very rare in that there's a lot of people, and I've done a lot of research on this to give this advice now. There's people that have been 20 stone overweight but had really low cholesterol levels and fine cholesterol levels, whereas I'm clearly not 20 stone overweight, but if I sort of have too many dietary fats, my cholesterol just go up. It is a very rare condition, and it's genetic. So generally most people watching this video will not have genetically high cholesterol, so I wouldn't worry about your fat intake. But again, it's all about balance, and if you're balancing your calories out coarsely through fats, protein and carbs, then you wouldn't be having too much anyway, okay? Fat generally I find is sometimes better to have in the morning. A brain's made up of, I can't remember the exact percentage, but the majority of it is fat, so a brain tends to function a lot better on fat. So if you choose to have more fats in the morning, like eggs, you generally feel more alert, feel more awake, and you can think a lot clearer. I generally find that's just personal preference, so I tend to avoid them later in the evening. So if a good ballpark figure is like 20% of your diet should be made up of fat. That is enough really to regulate your testosterone levels and things like that in males, because fat is not the only player in hormone function. So I generally think around about 20 to 25% fat intake and daily is good. So an average split, what you could do is you could have I've explained that a little bit wrong there, sorry. Your fat intake, round about 35%, okay? What I meant by that is a 20% diet of fat. If you're having 20% fat intake that is enough to regulate your testosterone levels, okay? Because there's a lot of other players, that's what I meant by the 20% mark. But a good split would be 30% fat, 35% protein, and 35% carbs. Now, I wouldn't, if you were working out something like MyFitnessPal, I generally wouldn't worry about the percentages too much. That was just a split what I could give you. You need to worry about the grams that you're consuming, and that's generally, we can obviously give you that advice, but that's just basically dietary fat in sort of the simplest form I can explain it to you.